Hi everyone and welcome to this stream. Today we are at the Hi-Fi Club headquarters in Aarhus in Denmark. My name is Pau. I work at Hi-Fi Club obviously, and I'll be your host for this stream. And why do we do this stream? These weeks we celebrate something we call Hi-Fi Weeks. We dedicated a couple of weeks to great sound, to listening to music. And yeah, actually we just do it because we really love music. And because all that great products in Hi-Fi Club that we have and that our suppliers send to us, it's actually just a mean to us to get this great hi-fi experience to listen to music. So we would like all of you to have that experience of listening to great music and of course on a great stereo. Today in this stream, I'm so fortunate to have a friend of mine and one of our dearest suppliers, Thomas Holm from NAD. Hi Thomas.
Hi.
And welcome.
Thank you.
We're looking so much forward to having you here. But could you just start telling what is it you do at NAD?
Yes, my official title is a product and sales specialist.
Yeah?
It basically means that I train the staff mainly in Hi-Fi Club, and my responsibility is Scandinavia. So I travel around, well, not at the moment, but shops open up again.
Yeah.
My main job is to travel around to shops and educate the sales staff in our products, but also in sales, how to give the customer a great experience when he comes into the store.
Okay. Yeah, and I know we call you sometimes with difficult questions as well, so thank you for that.
Yeah.
But before we give the word to Thomas, actually we already received quite a few questions from customers to Thomas, and we will do those after your event.
Yeah.
And if you have questions during the stream, you're welcome to write them in the comments below, and we'll have people standing by to answer those as well. So, but for now, Thomas, take it away.
Thank you.
We look forward.
Okay. All right. So, as you just heard, my name is Thomas Holm. I work for NAD. NAD is owned by a Canadian company called Lenbrook Industries. We are an electronics manufacturer based outside Toronto in Canada. And we are behind the brands of NAD, Blue Sound, you might know, and a company called PSB Speakers. Today I would like to use the opportunity to highlight 4 unique technologies that make NAD unique as a hi-fi manufacturer. So NAD has been on the forefront of high-performance amplification since the 1970s, and as the ultimate in value-for-money products. It's really a reputation that got its roots in the legendary NAD 3020 amplifier, some might remember that one, and also many products that followed since then. NAD has always been about spending the money on where it matters the most and where it gives our customers the best possible performance, no matter the budget. This philosophy actually goes hand in hand with the philosophy of Hi-Fi Club, our biggest partner. With over 4 decades of history together, Hi-Fi Club and NAD have a partnership like no other. NAD has been a core product almost from the beginning of Hi-Fi Club, and this gives us a huge advantage, as Hi-Fi Club are really good at spotting trends and changes in the market. They have very close contact with their customers, and based on that, we can get feedback very quickly on what works and what doesn't. A good example is music streaming. In the early beginnings of streaming, Hi-Fi Club was quick to talk to NAD about platforms for the different purposes and help us develop into this segment. This subsequently led to the birth of the brand Blue Sound, where we could combine our knowledge in amplifier technology with high-quality audio streaming and also multi-room functionality. That's one of our unique technologies that I'll get back to in a short while. Speaking of value for money, it's always been a core foundation in NAD that you as a customer get the very best we can give you for your money, and that you can trust our specifications. An early example of this is our principle of honest watts, or as we called it later on, full disclosure power. This was our late chief engineer, Bjørn Erik Edvardsen, who began to implement this already in the mid-1970s. At this time, every manufacturer wanted to have the highest watt numbers, and it became sort of a battle between companies to have the highest numbers in the specifications, often realized with obscure and dishonest measuring methods. It's a battle for watts that's put its mark on both manufacturers and customers to this day. Since then, and still, NAD is fighting the battle with our full disclosure power, or honest approach to watts. When you buy an NAD product, you can be sure that the watts we put down on the paper are all there, and then some. Often, when reviewers review our products and measure our products, we are actually able to deliver much higher performance and sound much more powerful than the specification state, which makes NAD amplifiers play both louder and cleaner than the competition in the same class. Perhaps this is still why, still to this day, that reviewers and customers differentiate between regular watts and NAD watts. To us, this is very important, as this gives us the ability to be completely honest to our customers. We actually don't care so much what the specifications say. To us, it's far more important that your music sounds absolutely fantastic. And to get to that point, there's a lot more in the equation than just watt numbers. An NAD product is created to play real music on real-world speakers, and not just test tones in a laboratory. This means quality components, custom designed power supplies, a construction that's made purely from maximum sound quality on every single aspect. And this brings us to the first unique technology of NAD. This is our internal strive to implement and use the very best amplifier technology available. Up until 2005, all NAD amplifiers were based on analog Class AB amplification. And for NAD, this actually reached its peak in the Master Series M3 amplifier, which was a high-end dual mono, all analog Class AB integrated amplifier with 180 watts on board. Some of you might remember that amplifier, some of you might still have it. It's a very, very nice amplifier. This was actually the very best we could make at the time, but it was still an affordable amplifier. If I recall correctly, at that time it retailed for around 15,000 Danish kroner, which is of course also a lot of money, but according to our engineers, optimizing the performance from there would have been so costly that even a small change in performance could raise the price 3 times. 3 times. And that goes against the philosophy of NAD. It has to have stunning performance, of course, but it also has to have a reasonable price tag. So being that we hit the ceiling in analog amplification, we began exploring new and groundbreaking technologies. We actually became the first in the world to use the direct digital DDFA amplifier technology. We used it in a high-end integrated amplifier. And the continuous search for state-of-the-art technologies made us eventually cross paths with a company called Hypex. Hypex is a developer of analog Class D amplification and also considered to be one of the very best in the world. Our chief engineers at NAD quickly realized the potential of Hypex's unique technologies. And NAD was, once again, one of the first companies in the world to recognize and implement the UCD, which is a module like this, the UCD and the Encore technologies from Hypex in our products. Since that day, we have stopped developing conventional technologies, as according to our engineers, we simply found something much better. While the Hypex technologies are also available as do-it-yourself building blocks for private people, there's nothing do-it-yourself about the way NAD use and implement the modules. We actually have a license to produce the modules ourselves. This is a Hypex module, actually, which is one of the reasons why the print boards are blue, because we produce them ourselves. We custom design and build everything from power supplies, gain stages, and all the surrounding circuits to fully optimize the interface with our own circuitry. So this means that an NAD product will outclass any other commercial product using the same technology, and typically the NAD would be at a lower price as well. The UCD and Encore technologies from Hypex are used in most of our designs in various sizes, all the way from the compact 30-watt NAD D3020 and all the way up to the powerful 300-watt Master Series M22 high-end amplifier. But NAD never stops exploring groundbreaking technology. So in 2019, we announced a new partnership with another company called Purify. Purify claims to have solved the amplifier problem with their new Eigentakt technology. Actually, Purify is also co-owned by Bruno Putzis from Hypex, but also consists of audio legends such as Lars Risbo from Denmark, who invented the first fully digital amplifier, the Takt Millennium. You might remember that one. And, of course, Hi-Fi Klubben's founder, the one and only Peter Lyngdorf. With the introduction of the new Master Series M33 amplifier, along with other products as well, we are once again pioneers in using the very best there is in amplifier technology. And we're able to implement this into an affordable package where performance exceeds the value. What makes the Eigentakt technology special is its total absence of distortion and noise, and also the ability to drive any speaker load without ever changing the sound of the amplifier. In short, this means that it will amplify exactly what it gets into the system without coloring the sound, no matter what speaker you connect as well. It will simply always perform at its best, no matter the volume level, the material played. And it does so with an enormous ease and free flow of the music, as well as being super detailed and punchy and smooth at the same time. It's quite remarkable, actually. With this technology, we've once again raised the bar for how good an NAD amplifier can sound. And the M33 is simply the finest amplifier NAD has ever built. The Eigentakt technology found in the M33 amplifier can already be found in other products as well. For example, our new 7-channel M28, which is a high-end surround sound power amplifier, and also in the new and very reasonable priced NAD C298 stereo power amplifier. This is probably the best amplifier I have ever heard at this price point. It is ridiculously good at this price. So please treat yourself to a great experience and ask in your local Hi-Fi Klubben store for a demonstration of some of these new products, when all restrictions allow it, of course. All right, so the next unique technology I want to talk about is something called Dirac Live. The one thing that has the biggest impact on sound quality is the room you place your speakers in. I'm sure Ronald from Lyngdorf Audio also talked about this the other day. If you've ever tried to listening to music in a completely empty room, you might have noticed that the entire room is singing along. Or perhaps you also tried in some areas of your living room that you have a lot of bass, and in other areas of your living room you have no bass. The acoustics of your room is said to be around 80% of the total sound character of your speakers. This is because your ceiling, your walls and your floor reflect the sound waves that the speakers produce, and these early and late reflections from the surfaces in your room will blend with the sound coming directly from your speakers, making you hear both your room and your speakers at the same time. Sometimes the acoustics of a room and the sound waves getting bounced back and forth inside your room can be so bad and have such a negative influence on the sound that it gets unbearable to listen to. In a perfect world, this could be dealt with by installing loads and loads of absorbing materials on the surfaces of your room like you would see in a music studio or a big commercial theater. These absorbing materials will then handle the standing waves in the room and even these out so you hear more of the speakers and less of the reflections of your room, giving you better sound. The thing is, though, that solutions like these are not the most decorative and pretty much no one would like to have to fill up the living room with the bass traps and absorbers. Luckily, most living rooms with a blend of carpets and plants, art, curtains and stuff will actually already have good absorbent qualities and will sound quite good actually. But that doesn't mean that it couldn't be even better. Now you probably already have your arms crossed because you're definitely not going to have absorbers and bass traps into your living room, no matter what the so-called expert from NAD says. The good thing here is that you don't have to. The answer is called room correction. It's a digital system built into your NAD stereo or surround sound amplifier, which compensates for the acoustic challenges in your room and makes your speakers work with the acoustics in your room instead of against them, to give you even better sound quality from your speakers. NAD's unique technology number 2 is the award-winning and built-in room correction system called Dirac Live. Dirac is a Swedish company specializing in digital sound optimization and helps your loudspeakers reach their full potential actually in any listening room. Room correction is not new in the world of audio, and most room correction system focuses on providing a flat frequency response in your room using a sophisticated equalizer to adjust the dips and peaks of the sound pressures in your room. Dirac is much more than just an advanced equalizer. And they have taken a different approach to room optimization than most of the other platforms by working with the impulse response of each speaker in your system as well. Most speakers, if you can see, have multiple drive units, and in conventional setups there can be small differences in the timing of those driver units when responding to a transient. In other words, there can be timing differences between the tweeter, the mid-range, and the bass driver in your listening seat, as the music arrives at your ears. Dirac compensates for those small differences and corrects the timing of the frequency response in your room in relation to your speaker. And that's actually not just in a single listening position, but throughout the entire listening room. And actually, that's all technical. The best part is that Dirac sounds fantastic. So the way it works is that in the box of your Dirac-enabled NAD product, for example the M33 that we have here, there's a microphone included that you connect to your amplifier, and then Dirac uses this microphone to measure the acoustics in your room. Controlling the measurement process is done by using a desktop app for Windows or a Mac, or with the Dirac Live mobile version for Android and iOS. You can use whichever you think is the most convenient, although for more advanced users, I would recommend using the desktop app. It offers a better overview and easier control, for example, calibration levels and target curve adjustments. I'll get back to that. Also, a very handy feature of using your computer is that it allows you to plug the microphone into your computer instead of into the back of the product. That makes it easier to move around when doing your measurements. When you've done all your measurements, Dirac also lets you design your own target curve. A target curve is a personalized voicing of your system, a tone control, so to speak. After the room correction has done its magic, you might find that you would like, for instance, to have a bit more bass when watching movies, or perhaps just a little bit more openness in the high frequencies. Custom target curves let you tailor the sound exactly how you want it, and let you save these voicings in up to 5 different presets in your NAD amplifier, and you can access these presets with the BluOS app. I'll get back to what BluOS is as well. You don't need to worry if you don't know anything about this stuff. It sounds really technical, but we already actually designed a ready-to-use NAD target curve that you can download from our website and load into the Dirac app for your NAD product. Actually, I would recommend starting with the NAD curve, and from there you can always customize to your liking. By using the NAD target curve, you will be up and running in no time. It sounds really, really good. You can always, of course, consult with the skilled guys at Hi-Fi Klubben. They will be able to show you in the store, when they open up, of course, how you can design your own target curve and how to use the Dirac app as well. So, in my opinion, Dirac room correction is something you need to hear to believe it. You might think your system sounds great already. It probably does. Even though you should get a demonstration of what Dirac and NAD can do. It can actually be quite shocking how much it actually can do for your listening room. Okay, so this brings us to our unique technology number 3. Something we called modular design construction. MDC is one of the unique technologies that we are most proud of at NAD, and one that we exclusively designed and developed ourselves. As stated, MDC stands for Modular Design Construction, and it's a system that allows for updating, expanding, and future-proofing your NAD product. What it basically means is that on an MDC-enabled NAD product, you will have NDC slots on the back of the chassis, allowing for MDC modules to be inserted into your amplifier, like shown here on the C658. This means that if you, for example, want to upgrade your stereo amplifier with more HDMI ports, or you want to add a digital input to your classic older NAD amplifier, or maybe you would like to add Blue sound streaming to your existing amplifier, it's as easy as plugging in the desired module, and that's it. Your NAD amplifier is now upgraded and up to date. So let me give you an example on this. I tried to find the most extreme example I could give. Take the NAD T775, which is a surround sound receiver from 2007. If you were to take any 14-year-old surround sound receiver from any other manufacturer, it would already be deemed obsolete, because formats and technology in AV equipment is moving so fast. But with MDC, we can actually take that 14-year-old receiver and make it completely up to date with the newest formats and the newest specifications. With just 2 MDC modules installed in a 14-year-old receiver, we can make it completely up to date, supporting Dolby Atmos, DTS-X, HD surround formats, 5 ports of 4K video, HDMI audio return channel, BluOS wireless streaming, voice control, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and also Dirac surround sound room correction. Actually, the same features that our brand new T778 surround receiver supports. So we think this adds tremendous value to NAD products. And it also counteracts the kind of buy and throw away mentality of electronics manufacturers. An NAD product, you can be sure that even though new technologies emerge over time, we will always be able to keep you up to date and evolve your NAD amplifier as you're using it. And just to give you a little sneak peek into what's coming to our MDC platform, we have just released the MDC USB DSD module, which makes it able for you to connect your computer to, for example, the M33 or one of the classic series products, like a C388 amplifier. And now they'll be fully supporting high-res DSD audio over USB. I don't have one with me here, unfortunately, because it's not ready for delivery yet, but very soon. But once again, it's a feature which was not included when the product was released. Because of market feedback and the wish from customers, we can now offer this functionality. And that brings us to the 4th unique technology of NAD. In the MDC section before, I mentioned something called Blue sound or BluOS wireless streaming. For those of you who are not already familiar with the BluOS platform and the brand BlueSound, let me quickly talk you through it. BlueSound is an award-winning wireless multi-room streaming system owned by the same company that owns NAD, like I told in the beginning. You probably already know some of other systems that can do wireless multi-room audio, but the thing that really separates BlueSound from the other manufacturers is our utmost attention to sound quality and user-friendliness. BlueSound is a separate brand to NAD and consists of several options in wireless speakers, soundbars, subwoofers, and also a streaming amplifier and also a wireless streaming solution for your hi-fi system. The unique thing here is that it's the exact same engineers that develop NAD products that BlueSound uses to design and develop their products, or our products. So on board, BlueSound have over 40 years of audio engineering skills under their wing, and this results in class-leading sound quality and a very smart and unique features built in as well. The addition of our unique partnership with Hi-Fi Klubben also gives us great advantage in developing our products and offering new features based on direct feedback from the customers. So what makes BluOS unique for NAD? Well, behind the BluOS brand lies the brain and the backbone of the system called BluOS. BluOS is the operating system of BlueSound products, but it's also the operating system of BluOS-enabled products. And this brings us to why BluOS is unique to NAD, because both companies reside under the same roof. We have the unique ability to integrate our technologies between the brands. So you could say where BlueSound products rely on the audio engineering expertise of NAD and PSB speakers, NAD relies on the class-leading wireless streaming capabilities of the BluOS platform. Pretty much all newer NAD products have BluOS built in, and if you have an older product, you'll typically have the option to upgrade to BluOS with MDC as well, as explained before. This makes NAD and BluOS an extremely versatile system, where you could have a small wireless speaker in your kitchen. You could have a dining room with a pair of good speakers and a BluOS-enabled amplifier. Or you could have a living room with a high-end stereo or surround sound system, all connected with the same app for your telephone or tablet. The combinations are almost endless, but it's the same simple and easy way to use the products, no matter if it's for the kitchen table or the home theater. And we find this extremely unique, and it gives you, the customer, complete freedom to choose exactly the system you want, and more importantly, exactly the sound quality you want. So let's try and sum this up by something we call just add speakers. This was my take on the 4 technologies that make NAD unique. And to put it into a little context, I would like to explain our just add speakers concept. The concept is that in many of our products, such as the BlueSound Power Node, the NAD M10, like we have here, or the NAD M33, as I've mentioned a few times, they're all products where everything is included in the box, which means that the only thing you need to get going is a pair of speakers. You no longer need a tower of products and cables and boxes to complete your hi-fi system. You simply plug in the power to the product, connect speakers, and you're good to go. It really couldn't be any easier, and the only thing you need to decide is really how many of these 4 technologies I just mentioned you want built into your product. So let's start with the Power Node from BlueSound. Here you get 2 of the technologies. You get the NAD implemented UCD amplifier platform, and you get BluOS streaming multi-room platform. Going up the ladder a bit, we have the NAD M10 Master Series amplifier, which basically can be described as a high-end power node. And this gives you 3 unique technologies. This time we use the even better N-core amplifier technology. We also use that in our M22 high-end amplifier. You get built-in BluOS, and you also get built-in Dirac room correction. And finally, on the very top of our Just Add Speakers list, we find the M33. This is, in fact, a pure high-end integrated amplifier, but it's just as easy to operate as the power node or the M10. And here you get all 4 technologies. You get the Eigentakt technology from Purify, you get BluOS streaming, you get Dirac room correction, and you get the MDC expansion ports for future upgrades. Of course, NAD make many other products like the ones mentioned here, and if your wish is to get a high-end, full hi-fi system with a preamplifier and 900-watt mono amplifiers, we can also fulfill that wish. The main thing here to conclude is that no matter your budget or your preferences, NAD will have a product that fits your needs. So please visit or contact your local Hi-Fi Club shop and let them give you a tour of our products. If not just for a good music or movie experience, which is what it's all about, I guess. That concludes my formal presentation, and we'll now take some questions from the viewers, and I'll try to answer them as good as I can. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you very much, Thomas, for that great presentation.
Yeah.
I think maybe some things true about power being in long hair, or it's just...
I don't know.
I don't know.
It's fading.
It must be coming. But thank you very much, Thomas. And as Thomas mentioned, now we have some questions from some of you customers. And you ready, Thomas?
I'll try.
Let's do a couple.
Yeah.
I've got one here, maybe one saying, my old NAD was labeled BEE.
Yeah.
And it sounded great, it says. And now I can't find that seal on the amplifier anymore. Why is that?
Yeah, it's true. We don't use that seal anymore.
No.
BEE actually stand for, and I mentioned that in the presentation, for Bjørn Erik Edvardsen, which was our chief designer, chief engineer, who was behind the 3020, the legend of an amplifier. He's behind the full disclosure concept we have. He's power drive. He's behind the M2 that I talked about. But sadly, he passed away in 2018. Yeah. So even though we honor his legend, we think it will be a little bit inappropriate maybe to put his name on products he hasn't
put his name on. Yeah.
So that's the reason why we don't use that anymore.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. We'll do one more. Here's one actually that we get a lot in the shops. You have plans for making a cheaper AV receiver. Now your price point is around 12,000 Danish and 1,500 euros.
I get that question a lot actually, and I know the official answer from us is that anything can happen, and we're looking into it. But we also have this kind of what we call a lower threshold of what we want to do, and I don't think you will see an amplifier below the what's it called nowadays? 758 V3. Yeah. Because we actually don't. We think that anything below that would be a compromise on the sound quality. So
for now that will be the cheapest one.
I think that will be the case. Okay. Yeah.
Thank you. Then there's a good question for someone my age. Customer used to have an NAD 218, and he wants to know why you don't make these extremely powerful amps anymore.
Well, the 218 was a very nice, powerful amplifier. Yeah. I wouldn't say we don't make any extremely powerful amplifiers anymore. Take the M22, for example, which is on its own is a 2 times 300 watts, almost 290 watts, into 8 ohms with low distortion. Both channels playing. It's very powerful. It has dynamic power of almost 1,000 watts into 2 ohms. Or you can even have 2 of them. You can bridge them into 900 watt mono blocks. So given the 298 we have here, the M33, I would say that we definitely do make extremely powerful amplifiers.
Or maybe it's just something with the weight of the...
Yeah, that's the thing with the technology we use these days, that we don't need a lot of big heat sinks to dissipate the heat, because the amplifier technology is so efficient. So the power we pull down from the, what do you call it, the power in the house, gets converted into music instead of heat. Instead of heat and music.
Okay.
So
for that customer, he could just come into the shops.
Yeah, exactly.
One last thing, you talked about the MDC design, and you talked about a very old receiver that you could upgrade.
Yeah.
Do you promise upgrades for some years, or what?
I would say that going back 14 years is quite the promise. I can't promise that new products will.
No.
But the MDC platform has the option for us to develop into new technologies. And as long as we have that platform, we'll be able to upgrade. Of course, there can be limitations, and we might even evolve on the MDC platform at some time. But I would say that compared to many others, that an NAD product is definitely more future-proof than what you would else.
A unique possibility to do an upgrade.
Yeah.
Okay, so Thomas, thank you very much.
Thank you for listening to my long presentation.
Yeah, but as always, it was a pleasure.
Yeah.
So thank you very much. And for you guys and girls out there, we hope, as Thomas said, you will take the time to come down to the shops. We miss you very, very much, and when you can, please look us up and come down, and we'll do some demos. And remember, this stream and many more streams you can watch on YouTube and Facebook. So for now, thank you for watching, and we'll see you out there.